will be London.
Tell her I miss her. האורחים שלנו הם שופטים בתחרות רובינשטיין, התחרות ה-13. ואנחנו רוצים לדעת פעם אחת ללמוד איך שופטים בתחרות. אתה מקשיב, ואז איך אתה מתרגם את המחשבות שלך לציונים, כן או לא, וכו' וכו'. ואנחנו הזמנו הנה 3 שופטים נכבדים מתחרות רובינשטיין, ואנחנו רוצים לעשות איתם גם פרובוקציה קטנה. זאת אומרת, אנחנו נקרין להם כאן משתתפים מתחרות קודמת. ואנחנו רוצים אותם לא רק לשפוט את המשתתפים הללו, אלא אנחנו רוצים לשפוט גם את השופטים של התחרות הקודמת, שהם יגידו לנו אם הם מסכימים עם התוצאות של התחרות הקודמת. אז זהו, 3 האורחים שלנו הם פסנתרנים מפורסמים מאוד, והם גם פרופסורים, כל אחד בבתי ספר מפורסמים בעולם, אחד פרופסור ברויאל אקדמי, אחד פרופסור באוניברסיטת יל, ואחד פרופסור בהנובר, באוכשולה, והם לפי סדר הישיבה, שלום לברנד גצקה, how are you? שלום לפיטר פרנקל, היי פיטר, שלום לאיאן פאונטן. שכחתי לספר גם שאיאן פאונטן מבין השלושה הוא זוכה בתחרות רובינשטיין, זוכה בפרס הראשון. Which year you won the competition?
It's as far ago as 1989.
1989, wow. So, how about Clementi for a start?
Wow, well, this is a composer who's become neglected, and his music is not very familiar, so maybe we'll all learn something from him.
And he became British as well.
Well, everybody has their things to bear.
Bernd, in which style do you expect Clementi to be played?
Well, it shouldn't be so far from other classical composers like Beethoven, even Mozart. It should be elegant, it should be charming, it should be light, it should be brilliant. And this is brilliant, it's very professional. For me, it's a bit too technical. I hear these scales, and then when she or he is playing scales, I hear only scales.
It's she.
He or she.
Yeah, it's she.
I saw just the hands, so I don't know.
Yeah.
The hand could also be man's hand.
Yes,
so
yes.
Know, yeah.
And the sound is like female or male sound?
Oh,
Kind of. None of the, or both of them, yes. No, for me it's a bit too fast and not breathing naturally, so I cannot enjoy as much as I could enjoy Clementi.
You said elegance. Did you find some elegance?
I didn't, actually. I thought it's the danger is nowadays that everybody is playing so well the piano, therefore there is no really requirement of anything else. The general public think that that's a way to play. For me, it was lacking enjoyment. I think we should we should feel the enjoyment, and that's what I am looking for in music making, not only piano playing.
Ian, did you have fun?
I felt a certain liveliness and enjoyment of the music, actually. I mean, for me, maybe the sound itself is a little bit on the hard side. But I felt she, if it was a she, I think it was a she, that she was breathing a little bit there. There were some moments of flexibility and I mean, of course, it's in this direction of being rather over brilliant and over fast. But it's, on the other hand, it's not such a
fantastic hand.
Yeah, but it's not such a
showing.
It's
too
not
much
such
how
a
fantastic
profound
they are.
music, and I think it needs to go with a certain élan.
Yeah, we know that Clementi could be halfway between Mozart to Beethoven, and she played it, I think, much more in a Beethovenian
She
way.
was certainly in a Beethoven. It could have been Opus 2 number 3.
Yeah.
Beethoven Opus 2 number 4.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but I think it didn't have a Beethovenian approach. I think even in Clementi you can find more depths in music. I think it was, for me, very superficial.
Ian,
But did you not like the end of the exposition? Just this, the way that she just let that rather charming ending hang in the air, and then I like that moment.
That's good.
Ian, it seems to be that you know the girl.
I'm not sure that I know the girl. I just made an educated guess.
And
I'm not going to name her.
please try.
I'm not going to.
Do you know her?
You mentioned some name. Is that not the girl who won the Leeds competition?
It is.
Yes.
Ah.
So
It
we
is.
were right.
Yeah, you were right.
I actually heard her only once in Hong Kong, but I didn't hear her Leeds appearance.
Her name is Sofia Guliak. She was here at the Rubinstein 3 years ago and didn't make it. Actually, she didn't pass to second round.
But there are several, even in this competition, we had some first and second prize winners who didn't pass either the first round or the second round. Well, that happens, that they are, in certain places they are liked very much, and on other places not. Tastes are
Ben,
different.
do you agree with the judgment of 3 years ago?
Well, what I heard in this performance, then I would agree. But of course she played a big repertoire, and I guess there were excellent moments in her competition.
Otherwise, you can't
So she
win.
really can play the piano.
Yeah, otherwise you can't win first prize at Leeds competition.
Of course.
So
I understand she played Brahms D minor concerto at Leeds, and I was told that she played it extremely well. In Hong Kong, I heard her in Chopin and Schumann. Actually, she played Carnival, I understand, the first time in her life. It was very promising, definitely.
okay, I think now it's the time to listen to another performance. Peter, this is a sonata by Haydn we all love to love so much. It's so lyrical, so emotional, yet it is classical music.
Yes. And I am afraid that sometimes people with classical music, they are so strict. They think that they should be observing really the timing and etc. But I think it can have more freedom. Even in this sonata, lyrical elements, but there are also lightweight humor as well. And I thought that it was a little bit similar, everything. On the other hand, it was very musical. The one thing what I cannot judge from what we saw and heard, that personality. Because if you are sitting in a hall, you feel it differently. There's something, even in the sound, you can find more nuances in a live performance. And so, therefore, I wouldn't pronounce a judgment whether the person was rightly dismissed. I suppose she was.
Yeah, we all know that judging now by the monitor is missing the most essential element, is the atmosphere and the real sound. Ian, did you find her playing too romantic or not enough?
No, I was a bit worried when she started that it was going to be one of these performances which is rather bland, you know. It's soft, but being very cautious with the colour and but then certain things came to life a little more with
I want you to disagree. So he said he would welcome more fantasy.
I generally like more freedom. Even I always feel that some of the people are afraid of
depends what kind of freedom.
And the freedom must be based on,
of course,
on details, and we need a lot of detail.
Definitely.
The problem is when we hear the freedom which is an anarchy.
You cannot have a way of playing it like Chopin. But I think the nuances, which is in a way inexplicable in music making, should be somehow more.
Of course, there is a lot behind the notes and between the notes that the poor composer can't express with these black dots. Maybe this was a bit too much inspired by that Brahms song, which is so similar. So it was way too romantic.
If Haydn would have known the Brahms song.
I agree with you. I agree with you. It must be very free, but based on details, and many details were, for my ears, just wrong. Articulations, all the ornaments, the trills were not in the right place. I think we can have both freedom,
that's true,
but also strict or correct details.
Yes, definitely.
Tell me, Bernd, do you know the girl?
No.
You know her?
Well, I couldn't recognize. I should have put my glasses.
Maybe we need better photographers at the Rubinstein competition. You surely know the girl. Do you know her?
I did recognize her.
I'm wondering if it's one of Bernd's students.
No.
Certainly not.
No, but she's from your Hochschule.
I see. So
from Hanover.
I should know her then.
Yeah, by elimination. Try to think, who could she be?
But I could not even see if it's an Asian.
No, she's not.
No.
Her first name is Martina.
Ah, then
Martina,
I know her.
So you know her from
Croatia.
Filia.
Yeah. So
Martina Filia.
So you tell us
who won
about
the first prize in the Cleveland competition, where I was a member of the jury. I had some kind of feeling that it might be her. She played extremely well in Cleveland, but she was excelling in different repertoire. Although she played Hammerklavier, for instance, but she was excellent.
That is amazing. She was here, like Sofia Guliak. Two girls played here, of course left good impression, but didn't make it here. And the same year, one won the Leeds competition, which is a very prestigious competition, and the other one won first prize at the Cleveland competition, where our friend judged. And who was wrong?
Well, maybe it depends on so many factors. Maybe also the acoustics of the hall in each competition. I mean, we play here in the museum, which is rather a dry and bright acoustic, and maybe for certain pianists that doesn't actually show them in their best light, whereas in Leeds, by all accounts, I've never been there, but apparently Leeds they play in like a swimming pool, and maybe also that suits certain other players
in
better.
Leeds at the university,
Maybe
it's
people
not
who-
swimming pool, only at the town hall.
No,
when,
no, it's not a swimming pool,
Yeah.
only a Turkish bath.
I can
But-
imagine that both of them played an excellent concerto in the end, in the competitions that they won.
Yeah.
So
And
they're
they
concerto
have to be
players.
quite clever to choose the repertoire.
yeah,
Because, for instance, Martina played things like Berio. She played like Out of Door Suite of Bartok. And that was incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
But of course, Hanover, but
I
I
remember-
understand she was in many
I gave her
other
one
schools.
lesson on auto suite that was not good. but
But that was excellent. Maybe because you gave the lesson.
I hope so. I don't know. Yeah.
So we did not vote for her, and she won another competition, and this
But
is
was
Maybe
she-
it's because of the classical pieces. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
very likely, because now you showed us Clementi and Haydn,
Yeah,
and this counts very much for a big part of the jury.
And so few of the pianists, from what I've heard this year, seem to be at home in the classical repertoire. And,
Yes,
that's
very,
right.
very
very,
few.
very few. Even excellent pianists who can play Chopin
All Chopin
studies
etudes,
or
But
strange things
I am
like-
afraid to say that for the general public, that's the least important. And I am sorry about that, because they are all waiting for the big romantic
Yeah,
concerti. And that's what...
and this is a
we
time
expect.
for us to move to the next clip, please. Bernd, I would like to ask you a question. Actually, everybody can judge a competition. I like it, I don't like it. Why do we have to be experts?
Well, because the music is so complicated. I mean, it's so complicated, so hard to play the piano properly. So we have, we need a lifetime experience, and so that's why we need
And
to be experts.
there are some funny details. For instance, in this sonata, everything is fine, and then there is one moment that the pianist is playing something like this. And
This is a
it sounds
famous
so
place, of
muddy,
course,
and everybody in the audience would say, "Oh, what happened to him? What happened to him? Why is he playing so stupidly?"
No, it's not stupid. Haydn wrote this way. He wrote open pedal, and this is one of the very first places in piano literature that a composer at that time gave us this indication to try something very, very special. Beethoven later did it many times.
And do you like it to be so muddy? You know, Haydn is always full
Well, I
with
tried it
clarity.
on an historic instrument, and it was quite a mixed sound. So we shouldn't be too careful. But I mean, we have many ways of changing the what I call micro pedaling. So change it a little bit, not to get it too dirty, but it should be somehow mysterious.
When you judge a competition, are you more focusing, you are German, on classical style, or you also take into account the Rachmaninoff and all that?
Everything. everything, but everything has to be in its style. So if we talk about classical style, then I'm quite strict in details.
Ian, what happens if he plays well the Rachmaninoff and then the Haydn is bad?
Well, this often happens.
Yeah. So what happens?
Well, my feeling is I want to remember the best things. And if somebody shows, even in one piece, something very special, then I'm happy to overlook more their failings in other things. But if somebody can do something which is really memorable, then to me he's deserving of passing, because that's what we want to, that's in the end what we want to find.
Would you pass this fellow?
No.
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 I think it was too mechanical, basically, that really, in this sonata particularly, there are so many characters. And
I'm disappointed of you, because I expected you to be against the decision of 3 years ago. I wanted you to tell us that we made a big mistake, that those people are fantastic, and now you reconfirm.
Unfortunately, you were right.
To me, he's playing as if he has policemen standing around him, in my view.
But we are making mistakes as well, so I'm sure we will make mistakes now. But that's what Ian said, that it's very important to remember in different styles. First of all, going back to the first round as well, what those first people played well. And you cannot be good in everything. And on the other hand, I don't like people specializing on certain composers. You have to have a great variety, but it's not necessary for everyone.
Do you know the guy?
I didn't recognize him.
Again, you must know him, Bern.
Sorry, I just can't see it. It's so fun.
Yeah, he's again from Hanover, from Hanover.
Okay, so tell me the name.
And he won recently a very important first prize. Just a month ago.
A month ago.
You're
Yeah,
winning so many prizes.
yeah, yeah, too many prizes. Yeah, his first name is Amir.
Devenichi.
Ja, jawohl,
Ah,
jawohl.
Who is that?
this is a Russian student. I think he's around 30
Yeah, yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I guess he played his Rachmaninoff well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this was a bit boring. I would say.
Yeah.
The lack of fantasy. All the short notes were the same kind of short notes, for example, accents or
In
no
this
accents.
competition as well, we heard this kind of playing a great deal, and very accomplished pianistically, and I am sure they were terribly disappointed that they didn't pass, because they are really established pianists, but something, at least for our taste, was missing.
You know, those three people, Ian, didn't make it in the Rubinstein competition, and a little bit later they won first prizes. Not second prize, not third prize, first prizes in major competitions.
But later. So
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
learned from
Maybe
the
they learned.
Yeah, yeah.
I think what it shows is that maybe the differences between a first prize and going out in the first stage is maybe not always so big. And I find now just to get into a competition is already a big achievement, because the numbers have gone through the roof.
We had 2 Haydns and 1 Clementi. Bernd, some comment about stylistic approach to this style.
Well, I'm a little bit afraid that certain things are getting lost, and the respect for the details, as I said before. These composers, especially Beethoven, this was the climax of the classical style, they wrote so precisely, for example, articulations, slurs, phrasing signs, and if they don't respect this at all, and at this place they put just an emotion or sense of color, this is not enough.
But Haydn and Mozart didn't write that much details,
That
not
much,
even dynamics,
but it
and not
started
even
already.
very rarely wrote a crescendo
But
mark.
even in these sonatas we have already a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, so
of
what you are
things,
saying is so many emotions, but most of them misplaced?
No, the emotions have to be balanced. This is
Wrong
the,
emotions, I think. And I think so many things are happening, modulation, different, going into different key, different, and it's not observed.
It's not about being correct, but about balancing all
Yeah.
these energies.
Maybe that's why with the youngish pianists, as I can say as a middle-aged pianist, that maybe this classical style is the thing which takes the longest to actually to come into full focus, because maybe when you're 18, the emotions of Tchaikovsky and Scriabin are very close to your way of life. But understanding a Haydn or Mozart is actually something which
every 20 years
requires...
things are changing. Somehow the style of performance is changing. Now we have I think a more sentimental time. They're going for beauty and beauty of sound and forgetting everything else.
Tomorrow is the final day for the Rubinstein competition, for the present Rubinstein competition. I know that you cannot say anything. But what would be the profile of the first prize winner that you would love to have personally? Just one phrase, one statement. What kind of pianist do you?
Somebody who can live with his music and piano playing for his whole life. That I get the feeling this goes on forever.
Integrity, very important, and for my taste is really I am going for somebody whom in 10, 20 years time I would pay money to listen.
Yeah, absolutely. The most important, somebody who is going to grow and who is going to develop and improve on what they're doing. This is just a training ground, what we're hearing.
And maybe this most important difference between a good artist and a great artist. A good artist is playing well. A great artist can convince us that what he does is the ultimate performance for tonight. So let us wish tomorrow to have such a winner. And I thank you very much for coming here, Bernd Götzke from Hannover, Peter Frankl from Yale University, and Ian Fountain from the Royal Academy. Am I right?
You are absolutely right.
In London, you can always mix between the Royal Academy and the Royal College and the...
No need of that.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.